An incoming call from Francis Ford Coppola. I'll take the call. So I got a call to come down to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and work on a film he was making called Rumblefish, which at the time was very obscure. And his thing is that he gathers together artists that he thinks are talented just to see what happens. Every one of those kids in that film, from Matt Dillon, Diane Lane, Larry Fishburne, Dennis Hopper, Mickey Rourke, went on to huge careers in film. But it was an art movie. It was in black and white, which is pretty danged arty, and it had a lot of time-lapse photography. And he wanted a score that was not like anything else in Hollywood, so he called a guy who had never done a score before. And really, by not knowing how you're supposed to do it, I kind of, Francis told me what he needed emotionally from a scene. He said he wanted happy here, and we talked at great length, high concept with Mr. Coppola, Uncle Francis, about here, I want to feel when Diane Lane looks over at Matt Dillon, I just need to, and we talked about the feeling that he needed, and I'd think, okay, this score, no, that's too happy. No, she's not going to kill her. I couldn't actually play the music that I wrote. I could either play the right chords with no rhythm, or I could play the rhythm and any old note. Couldn't do both at the same time. But with using a recording studio as an instrument to record, okay, roll tape, blah, 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 blah. Okay, coming to the chorus. Okay, stop. Okay, drop me out. Okay, dropping in the next part. Okay. Drop me in. And, dropping in. And nowadays, it sounds arcane. Nowadays, you just play anything and then cut it up in Pro Tools. This was on 2-inch tape back in those days. And you learn you have to make up, because you just do it intuitively when you don't know what you're doing. And it didn't occur to me. They kept saying to me, Stewart, when's the orchestra date? When's the date? And I said, well, I'm recording now. I'm in the studio recording. Well, what's the date? Isn't it, the whole month of February is the date. And because they were thinking, when's the orchestra date? They hire a composer who writes a bunch of music. The director goes over to the composer's house, and the composer plays it on a piano while singing the theme. La, da, da, la, da, 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 and the director has to kind of take it on faith. So there's a date where they show up in, Paramount Studio M or wherever, and there's a 60-piece orchestra. They count it in, and the producer and the director are sitting behind the composer, real nervous. Now, that's exactly what I had to do for 20 years of film composing, but they were not so nervous in my day, because after a few years, they invented samples and sequencers and so on. And the director, before they get to the orchestra date, they have actually heard it, a much closer facsimile of the music played with synthesizers and so on. Back in those days, I was making an album. We lay the drums down first, and then the next day we start building, we build tracks. And so one day, Francis comes to hear the music with all of his grown-up crew, all the same people he made The Godfather with and all of his big films. And when the old cats came in, they'd only ever heard, traditional orchestral film music. They expected me to be on a piano singing la la la. But I'm playing them these drum loops and these rhythm loops with a little, one piano stab here, and I didn't know how you're supposed to do it, so I was doing it the only way I could. And the old guys go, wow, this is incredible. And they're all going, what? Geez, Fred, this is incredible. It was just like every other rock album I made, only without singing. Okay, I used some marimbas and some instruments that were easy to play. And I got credit for that too. That's amazing. But the old filmmaker guys who'd never seen a score done like that were amazed. And Francis gave it the thumbs up. But at one point he turned around and said, I need strings. It's too dry, harsh. It's really interesting. I get it, but I need to feel, and there's just nothing that makes you feel like strings. I need strings. Stewart, can you get me some strings? And I'm going, well, no, Francis, that'll, because immediately I'm thinking he's going to hire some guy, some hack who's going to go and, put strings all over my cool music. Really, there's a con. And Francis turns to Doug Claypool, tell Stewart I want strings. It was my first job, so I needed that little cold shower. So I did what my daddy taught me how to do, which is, I got it. Strings, Francis, you want strings? I got strings. No problem. I'm going to bring you some strings, sweet like honey. I tell my kids, if anybody ever asks the question, any French horn, anyone here? Yes, yes, yep. The answer is yes. Particularly for you composers. Can anyone compose? Yes, you can. And you must if you are young and a student and trying to break in. You only have one answer. Yes. Nothing is too dumb for you. Nothing is out of your bailiwick. Nothing is not your thing. No, if you're young and you want music, yes is the only answer to any proposal put before you. And in that instance there, when Mr. Copeland wants strings, yes. And shit, how am I going to get some strings? What are strings? How do you get strings? And so I called somebody. And somebody came over and I showed him my kind of chords, and he made a chart and said, we hired some strings. How many strings do you want? I don't know, strings. How many strings is strings? 8 guys, 90 guys, I don't know, strings. Francis wants strings. Give me some strings. And so we hired like a little ensemble of, I can't forget, maybe 12, 15 guys, and they get them in the room, and I had somebody, I figured out what the chords that I had played. I didn't write anything down. I just sort of played, and then that kind of move that finger over, and yeah, cool, all right. That would drop me into a chord there for that chord, and I built it up as you do. And so on the page, somebody took that and put it on a page, and the string players all show up. And like with any musician coming into the room, and my experience at that point was, hey, great to meet you, brother musicians, great. Goes, oh, that's cool. Never seen one of those before. What's that? That's a cello. Cool. That is a big-ass violin, man. Great, guys. So this first track here, I want to just kind of get the ball rolling here, and I'm just going to play this groove, and it's like it's in E, and then I'll wave. When I wave, it goes to A. Okay, this part here, it's got kind of a groovy sort of a dotted feel, it kind of ka-chung, ka-chung. And then when you see Rusty James, he looks at the girl, just kind of do a little sort of a thing there, kind of like just kind of groove on that. And who wants to take a solo? Who wants to take a solo? And obviously I was talking Greek because nobody wanted to take a solo. And just kind of play some kind of, like that. And yeah, just, hey, we're free here. This is rock and roll, not like your classical stuff you poor people have to play. This is free. And so I get that, and then, okay, roll tape. And I'm there with them, and this is the E bit, and they're not playing. Okay, just kind of play something cool. I mean, the stuff on the just kind of play around that, use that as kind of a guide. And Maestro, do you want us to play the score or whatever the fuck you're talking about? And I realized, okay, well, I'll play the chart. And so they count it down, they play it, and they play exactly what's on the page. 10 seconds later, we have the whole piece of music recorded. That's it, one take. Okay, I didn't get a solo out of those guys, but really? So you put it on the page, they read it, and there's no debate. There's no persuasion. I put those dots, and then I put a little hairpin there and some Italian shit. They're actually going to play it pretty good. And real quick, too. I mean, we were done, and I had like 3 hours booked, and they were done in like a couple of takes. And I don't need to verbalize anything. Just put it on the page, and they'll play it. Wow. It ain't like that in a rock band, With a rock band, with rock musicians, there's nothing on the page. It's verbal. It's like, okay, I got it. And then when it comes to that point, like play some kind of drum fill, and then take us, and then just kind of, groove on, that's, and you describe it, and then the reality isn't what you described, and then you get a different guy to, then it's a negotiation, which is why bands break up. But when you put it on the page, they just play it. And so began my decades-long voyage with orchestras, which is where I'm at now.